Good morning. I'm going to come to you from my deck, giving myself a little bit of a different routine this morning. Still up and out with the sunrise right behind me. I did watch it rise this morning just a little bit ago and got a couple of good pictures. But Ezekiel, Ezekiel has some wild visions. I'm going to go over here and just sit down and we'll chat. And today we're going to chat about personal responsibility, which has been sort of my mission because I think I kind of lived a little bit as a victim and a martyr for a while, not even knowing that I was doing that. But really trying to take ownership. Well, if you want your life to be different and have different results, you've got to do different things. You can't make excuses anymore because that's what they are. And Ezekiel talks quite a bit about that in some of his visions. And you know, a lot of the Old Testament, we hear the message and it gets quoted a lot that, you know, the sins of the parents or one generation gets passed on to the next generation and children pay for their parents' sins. And, you know, the generational curses. And while I think that's true, there is choice in that. Part of the story that is being told there is just the way that humans interact with each other. And what monkey see, monkey do, as my mom would have said. We just tend to, because we love our parents and we love our family members and people in our community, when they do something, we tend to normalize it, or it's not that bad because we look at the whole person. And so our attitude towards things that can get us in trouble and cause trouble for us is like, oh, well, it's not that bad, or so-and-so did it, so it can't be that bad. And then we've got marketing and, you know, in the modern world, we get sold a bill of goods because they package it one way and maybe they don't tell you the real consequences. They only sell you the good part with food and alcohol and drugs and all kinds of lifestyle things. And we look at and we try to treat symptoms. Anyway, I'm not going to go into a marketing talk because that is a story for another day. But God is saying very clearly through Ezekiel here, hey, yes, it's true that this is kind of the natural way that humans pick up their bad behavior and their attitude towards behavior about whether it's good or not good and how quickly we can get off track. And it does happen generationally. So it's just the way that nature and humans develop and the way it works. But it doesn't have to. This is where personal responsibility comes in. When a person knows better, they can do better, and they're obligated to do better. And until you don't know any better, you still are going to have the consequences of your bad behavior, even if you don't know any better, which I kind of lived in that land for a while. But once I started realizing, oh, A plus B equals C. So if I want a different result, I've got to go back and change part of the equation. That's my responsibility. Even if there are some real reasons out there with other things, people, whatever in my life that are contributing to my choices, they're still my choices. And period, end of story. And that's where sometimes, you know, the rubber meets the road, because if I decide to make some of those changes and take personal responsibility, it really could alter my life in a way. And that's what we've got to be really prepared for, both good and bad. Yes, getting the new result that I want and taking personal responsibility for it, but also it might rub some people the wrong way, or it might not fit in with the arrangements I have with other people and how they want to live. And so I might get excommunicated. We've talked about that in the last, even in Jeremiah and Lamentations. Like, we kind of volunteer in being righteous or doing right and good things for ourselves in our community, when it is done with and it rubs other people the wrong way or goes against the beliefs, of maybe generationally that are in our family, we might not be so welcomed. And then that's the choice that we make, right? And that is part of what even what Ezekiel is saying, or God is saying through Ezekiel and his visions, is that you've started caring so much about what you all think of each other. And then when one slips a little and the other's like, oh, it's no big deal, and I'll even join you over here in this party. And then, it's a slippery slope. And it doesn't have to be, though. That is where, we have the strength in our bodies and in our minds to not go down the slippery slope. But that doesn't mean that's not going to put us over in an area, in a way of living that, has some consequences that might not feel super comfortable, or, we might have to go find some new people to be with that are more like-minded. How do you, when you're in a community, family, whatever, that does things this way, and then you decide to be a different way, it's hard to take that kind of personal responsibility, because we are pack animals at the end of the day. Like, we are physical beings, humans, and we are made for connection. So you also have to take personal responsibility and ownership of that in your journey. And still meet those needs of yourself. But God will judge, and the consequences will be what they are naturally for your behavior. And we can't put it off on somebody else. Like, that is a reason and an explanation, but it's still, at the end of the day, you've made a personal choice to be this way or that way, or kind of in between. There's a lot of us try to go through that, live in the in between. Well, I'll be good over here and I'll do all these good things. And that's exactly what the people of Jerusalem, it's like, oh, you're going through the motions, but it's the heart of the matter. What's really in your heart? And if it was really in your heart, you wouldn't be able to go over here and do these things. The two don't jive. So you're either going through the motions, and part of you really wants to be this way, so you do some of the things, but really your heart's over here. And there's no getting around that. And that's why a lot of us will pick up some behaviors or ways of being that help us tolerate our own duplicity. To stuff it down, to explain it away, to numb out, check out from it, because it is, God did not give us an easy or, he gave us fairly simple and clear directions, but not easy to carry out in the human life, and also how we really do need to survive. And we need to survive in community. But we do have choices. And it's your responsibility and it's my responsibility to stay faithful in the heart, which will then be reflected by your action and the fruit of your life. This is told over and over again through various analogy and metaphor and proverb. And it's not easy. It's not easy, which is why we've got to take the time out on a daily basis to stay connected and remind ourselves of what it is that we truly believe, especially when we have to live in community where not everybody's on board with that same belief, but we have to live with integrity. It's every person's personal obligation and responsibility to live with integrity. And most of us, or a lot of us, do not take that obligation seriously enough. We want it, but we don't want to do all of the hard work that comes with it and all of the things that help keep us on that path. It seems too hard, it takes time, and we tell ourselves, yeah, I don't have time for that. I'll just do the best I can and hope for the best, and that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's got to be a dedication, a devotion. That's why we use words like this in our faith walk, in our spiritual walk. It has to be a priority for you in order to live accordingly, and because that is what reflects the heart. And if you're only going through the motions and only doing it to check the boxes, but you're not, and that's why you're doing it. If it's only for obligation and your heart's not in it, God knows that too. And the fruit of that shows up in your life, and people can see. People are perceptive. We can see duplicity in mixed messages, and we're, I'm sure I'm guilty of sending mixed messages at times. It's not about perfection. It's about your heart and doing the right thing. And when we are able to have self-awareness, personal responsibility, and humility, then we can even see, oh, wow, I got really off track there the other day. Human part, ego came in, took over for a while. Really sorry about that. Try to do better next time. Because we can hurt ourselves and other people when our ego comes out to play too much. But we're human and it happens. So anyway, I want you to meet my dogs. Let me turn this screen around. This is Mallory. And this is Chloe, for those of you that are seeing a video. I have our Miracle Mallory and our Chill Chloe. And those two follow me everywhere. I am the center of their universe. It's nice to have dogs. They bring a good energy. So hopefully you'll, if you don't have pets, maybe you can go borrow some pets. And it's good for the soul. It's good for our, personhood to be connected to nature and to other beings. Anyway, so let me know what you think about personal responsibility. It's not, it's very tempting to blame, excuse, obfuscate, all of the things, and be victims and martyrs, but there's no power in that. And God gave us a spirit of power, his power, and we need to claim it and live by it. That is where life becomes a great adventure that's exciting to wake up to every day, and you want to rise and shine. Because if you're going to rise, you might as well shine. And I'm going to have a super shiny day and do some things that I have put off doing for a few days and get some stuff done and take personal responsibility for, so that I can also have the reward of relaxing with peace of mind, knowing that my work has been done. All right. Ooh, bye.